Hello there, everyone, and welcome to the FM network. My name is Justin, or Eagle Skipper, either one works, and I'm here today as a guest creator. So, if you are like me, around about this time of the year, end of March, beginning of April, you can see the end of the light for your long-term save that you started at the beginning of the year, and you're just wondering, what am I going to do next until the next game comes out? Well, I've got you covered because today we are going to be looking at some pretty interesting build a nation type saves that you can use that don't require any workshop content, because as good as Klassen and all those other people are, sometimes you don't know if the leagues are right or anything, but we'll use the FM vanilla game where you can get started today. So if you do enjoy this video, please be sure to pop on over to my channel. The link will be in the description below. I've currently got a long-term save called Journey to the Top, where we started at Darlington FC, moved over to Middlesbrough, and have built them up to the point where when Real Madrid came asking for an interview, I didn't even go. I just declined to go, and the media were like, "What? Are you crazy?" I'm like, "No, I'm proud of what we've got going on here." But anyways, please do be sure to sub and like the FM Network's YouTube page. It really helps you find some more awesome creators. So without further ado, let's get into our list. First up on our Build the Nation list, we go to the frozen north, so cold that Elsa wouldn't be able to let it go. The land full of literal Vikings, volcanoes, and Zealands. That's right, we are going to Iceland. And let's first take a look at the nation. They're sitting 47th in the world ranking, and in their top league, there hasn't really been one team that has been super dominant. I mean, this one right here that I'm not even going to try to pronounce has had the closest thing to dominance, but I mean, Red Bull hasn't figured out how to survive in this icebox. So yeah, there's a vacuum for you to fill. And because of this, we are going to drop down a division into the second tier, where I'm going to be recommending Cordringir. Now, Cordringir is a team with very little history. They were just founded in 2017, and they've only ever known promotion according to Football Manager. They finished third in this 2019 season. The Football Manager says first. Either way, they were promoted. Then they were promoted last year with another league victory, and they're in the second division of the nation. And I mean, they've only been around for 4 years, so they're doing pretty good, and they need your help. As I try not to spill my coffee, they need your help to continue. And well, I mean, this team only has about £32,000 in the bank, and you're really going to have to be frugal as you build this team up, because there's not a lot of money knocking around in Iceland. And the board have only ever experienced promotion, but they have pretty reasonable expectations of you for this year. And if we just take a look at the players, they're all about Vanarama national quality. If we just take a look at Gunbunsen here, right back, he looks pretty decent. I mean, he could work in the Vanarama national. He's currently wanted by another Icelandic team. But you're also not too far off of the top teams from your division. If we just look at the division and who is the top team, their players, this guy right here, I mean, you're not too far off of their quality, but with a few good additions, some development from your high potential goalkeepers and right backs, you could make this team the next big thing for Icelandic football. But with, and I quote, "no youth recruitment, you have your work cut out for you." Now we move on to the Welsh equivalent of Bolton Wanderers. We have Port Talbot Town. If we just take a look at their history right here, get you a little overview chart. So they were an established first division team, finishing as high as third in 2009-10 season, playing in the Europa League. But in 2015-16, they were forced relegated by the Welsh Football Association due to poor financial mismanagement. They let all of their first team players go. They restructured, did a whole bunch of stuff, and basically played with just their academy for 3 seasons. They finished 13th, pretty respectable in the second tier of Welsh football, but they were forced relegated again because of more financial mismanagement to the newly created third tier. But they did gain promotion in the pandemic shortened season last season, so they are sitting back in the Cymru South. And, well, you have under 15,000 in the bank at the start of the game, and you're understandably, the board really wants you to do good with the finances. So if you are an accountant, this is the team to go with. And you're also going to have to rely on players who are perpetually wanted due to not being able to give big contracts. Chris Silva is your best player at the start. And this is what a star player for your team looks like. But the one bright spot that you have is that Victoria Road, your stadium, is 3,000 seater, which is really good for Wales. And if you could entice some Premier League Championship teams to come and play a little preseason tournament in the south of Wales, then you probably could fill it up and get some good money coming into the club. But as for the nation of Wales, they are the highest ranked team, national team in this list. They are sitting 22nd, but as everyone knows, that is entirely due to Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey, who are both in their 30s at the start of the game. So after they drop off, who's really going to take the torch? And I mean, if you just take a look at it, none of their senior squad, none of their under-21s, and only 2 of their under-19s play in the Welsh football pyramid. So you're really going to have your work cut out for you. One thing that's going to be really important for the Welsh League is dethroning the New Saints, who are, as everyone knows by now, an English team playing in the Welsh leagues, and taking away the chance for any Welsh players to show their stuff in Europe. So will Port Talbot be the team to be able to dethrone the New Saints? Now we move all the way across the world to the Singaporean League for our first team that only generates players from outside the nation that they play in. We've got Albirex Niigata Singapore FC, which is an affiliate club of the appropriately named Albirex Niigata in Japan, and but because of the licensing issues, or rules, not issues, because of the licensing rules of Japan, the Japanese league, they cannot be added to the game, and with Albirex, you have just about 200 grand in the bank, and you've got a pretty reasonable board. They don't have outlandish expectations. They only want you to be competitive despite winning 4 out of the last 5 seasons in the league. But the big issue that you're going to be having is that you cannot sign anybody but Japanese players. They have to have Japanese nationalities. And I mean, if you just look at it, this guy Ong Yu-in is one of the highest potential players at the club. But if we go to offer a new contract, we are blocked. So you're going to have to deal with that and weigh when is the right time to sell these players, especially this guy right here. He's one of the best potential players at the club. But to be fair, you've got, if you look just by ability, a great number of your players are of Japanese nationality, so that shouldn't be an issue in the short term. But yeah, this is your opportunity to directly build up the youth players of Japan and improve their national ranking. They are 25th right now, which is a very good place to start with, but this is your opportunity to influence those regions. So try to take over the Singaporean League with Albirex. From here, we move to the highest rated league pyramid of today's video. We move to the Spanish leagues, where you have the opportunity to take over FC Andorra. This Andorran team, situated in the Spanish Football League pyramid, currently play in the Segunda División B de España Grupo 3. Group A. And alongside other teams such as the B team of Espanyol and the B team of Barcelona. So you get pummeled by Gavi every other game, while having to deal with the fact that your highest potential Andorran player has 2.5 stars of potential. But with your star players being borderline League 1 quality, if you just take a look at Mantovi, borderline League 1 quality, you've got a little bit of time to bring success. But with all of your 3 best players being over the age of 33, oldest one being 36, you don't have that much time. Finances wise, you have almost $500,000 in the bank, but you've got a board that has high expectations. So you're really gonna have to cement your place at the club. You cement your tenure at the club before you worry about trying to improve the nation, which Andorra sits at 153rd, if I can find a player here, 153rd in the world ranking. That's pretty low, and with such a low world ranking comes managers with very high job security. So as soon as you're going to really need to stay on board with what's going on with the national team, because as soon as this job is available, you're going to want to jump on it, because as we can see, this guy, who is currently the head coach, has been with the national team since 2010, 11 years later. So yeah, jump on this job as soon as it is available. Moving along to the Swiss leagues, we have FC Vaduz, which is based in Liechtenstein but plays their football in the Swiss leagues. And getting into Europe is going to be kind of messy based on the weird rules that really only seem to affect Vaduz. Looking at you, New Saints. Vaduz gives you the ability to compete in Europe with the quickest availability, because you are already starting out in the top league of Switzerland, and you're the best team in Liechtenstein as well. But this top league is really dominated by young boys, and to a historical extent Basel, but you have a fierce and rich ceiling to break through to do well in this league. But good news on the finances front, you've got about $2 million in the bank at the start of the game. And in addition, the board really only wants you to work within the payroll budget, which, I mean, every team's going to want you to do that, but they are also really keen on you developing Liechtenstein, so that's a really big plus. In addition, your highest potential player, this guy, Justin Osfeldt, is a Liechtensteiner himself, and I mean, with 15 natural fitness, there's no reason why, if you can keep a hold of him, he shouldn't be able to play for another decade or two. And you can really develop the national team around him. But, as with Andorra, Liechtenstein are sitting 175th in the world, low world ranking, high job security. But this guy's only been there for 3 years, so you're going to want to snap up this job as soon as it is available. And our number 1 team and nation to build is a very interesting one. So we moved back out of Europe, back to Singapore, in fact, to, how do you pronounce this? Duli Peningran Muda Mahukta FC. It is a team that is based in Brunei, and it is really owned by the crown prince of the country. So it's owned by the crown prince of Brunei. So you shouldn't ever really run out of money. In fact, they do have, if we just take a look at the finances, they do have a back-end sugar daddy. But this team has won the Singaporean League twice in recent memory, since 2015, and this save will be much more about building up the nation rather than the league. Because if we take a look at the Bruneian. If we take a look at the national teams, only one player across any tier of the Brunei national team has never played for DPMM or its subsidiaries. But DPMM is considered the most reputable team in Singapore, so you have that going for you. And the board really wants you to maintain that position. But your players are all at Fringe Vanarama National quality, regional quality, excuse me, at the start of the game. So you're going to want to invest heavily in your facilities to drag up this team. That being said, you do start off league with 3 star players for the league, including this guy, Charlie Clow, who if you are a Sutton, Barnet, Forest Green, Dorchester, Bath, Bristol, Newport County guy, and you're wondering what on earth happened to this guy, he is alive. We have found him in, well, I guess it's Brunei, it's not really Singapore, but this is where he is, and he's pretty high quality for this league. But again, with the absolute lowest world ranking, this is a national team that you're gonna need to snap up real quick. But yeah, this is the most interesting one. You do play in Asia, not in Europe, so that rounds out our list. I do have 2 honorable mentions of clubs that I wanted to include, but they require a custom databases to become playable, and they are both in South America. So in Chile, you have Club Deportivo Socol, and if we just pull them up, they play in Chile, but they spawn Croatian players. So if you want a really interesting building up of Croatia, just go in and disable the leagues of Croatia and try to build them up in South America from across the world. But yeah, in our last honorable mention is Perolas Negras from Brazil. If we just pull them up right here, they are a Brazilian team. They're really an academy team, but they focus on developing Haitian players. So if this is the best way that I found to develop Haitian players without loading in the Haitian leagues. But again, you will need a custom database for either of these 2 teams to be playable because they're at amateur levels in game. And that is it for today's video. Please do leave a comment if you've ever had an adventure building any of these nations, or if you have clubs that I've missed that you have found, and I or the FM network are sure to respond. And I do want to say thanks once again to the FM network for featuring me as a guest creator, and please do remember to subscribe to their channel as they show you some awesome FM creators several times a week. And if you did like what you saw today, please remember to pop on over to my own channel. But I've been Justin, and you've been you. I'm out.